Oregon State travels to Seattle. They take on the Washington Huskies. Huskies -4.5. Both teams come in with 2 losses. Oregon State ranked at 23. Washington's loss to Arizona looming large over them. It was about 3 weeks ago when Washington fell back-to-back games. I believe it was against UCLA and then fell against Arizona to give them that 6-2 record. Washington comes into this one not covering their last 4. They opened the season covering their first 4, and now they've failed to cover their last 4, sitting at 4-4 against the spread on the season. Washington's also been favored in every single game, and this game is no different. And that's because they're a really good team. They're 18th in expected points added. They're the second best offense in the entire nation. Their issue and their Achilles heel all season has been their defense. They're 126th in EPA in defense, one of the worst units in terms of efficiency metrics. This is a defense that allows 367 yards. This is an offense that puts up over 500 yards. But this defense allows 28 points per game, and they've played an FCS school, I believe. So that kind of it inflates it a little bit, or I guess deflates it in the case of defense. It's just not a good defense. There's no way around it. But on the other side, it's Oregon State, which is how I would describe Washington light. They are 41st in EPA, 10th in offense, 117th in defense. So a little bit worse of an offense, a little bit better of a defense, but not by much. They're essentially what Washington is doing, just not doing it as well on the offensive side of the ball. And that's why Oregon State is a 4.5-point road dog in this one. But Oregon State, the Beavers, have had a lot of success covering against Washington. They're 12-4 against the spread since 1992 against the Huskies. Huskies, though, are 12-4 straight up against the Beavers. So it's interesting kind of that breakdown. But 3 of the last 4 games, Oregon State has covered. But I think tonight, Washington is going to cover. It will be tough, though. Let me tell you why. The weather, it's not looking good up in Seattle at this time of the year. It's going to be a little bit chilly. Probably going to be wet. It's going to rain all day. It might be raining at game time. Not entirely sure. Right now, weather.com has it as a 30% chance of rain, light showers at around the time of kickoff. That could change to being a downpour. But regardless of all that, it's going to be windy. Winds are going to reach up to 18 miles per hour, and that's going to really impact this Huskies team. For a second, the way I was seeing Oregon State, the way I was seeing Washington, the way their defenses have been playing this season, I thought for sure the over would hit. And originally, when I had my best bets written out, it was Washington -4.5 plus the over. I took out the over because of the weather. I'm still sticking with Washington, but if it's rainy, if it's windy, it impacts the Huskies more than it impacts the Beavers because the Huskies tear it up through the air. They're led by Michael Penix Jr. Michael Penix Jr., 22 touchdowns this season, 4 interceptions. He leads college football in passing yards. He's been an absolute stud for them, transferring from Indiana into the Pacific Northwest. So Michael Penix has gone on record this week, kind of downplaying the weather forecast, saying it won't matter. It's going to matter, but I don't think it'll matter too much. I think Washington is the better offense. Give me Washington -4.5. I think that's the best bet. I think tonight they're going to kind of roll through it. If it's not too rainy, I like them to move it through the air. Now, if it's downpouring, it's cold, and it's windy, it might be an ugly game, and we might be sweating that one out to the very end. Then moving on from that one,